But no, it just seems, I mean, okay, so we got the trucking system all over the country. The railroad system all over the country. They want to talk to somebody, boom. It's like, hey, we got whatever happened.
Yeah.
They just pick it right up.
Train hit something, how fast does dispatch know? I don't know, about 3 seconds later.
Really?
And TriMet, everything's within the city here, and a bus
It's
driver
slow.
doesn't have quick, immediate
It's
communication.
slow.
Yeah.
I know.
So it's like,
Rail does. Rail is.
They're on. It's live. It's
wait a second,
constantly on that.
So you're serious? The thing
The
that's
Max.
disabled the most, at the slightest little inconvenience, has the best communication system.
Yeah, better than the bus.
That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Well,
That's so ridiculous.
But the thing about the bus is that the idea
Well, that's the way it is, though.
the idea with the bus is that if someone calls dispatch can know what's going on before they talk to them.
Well, look, ride
Well,
a bus
I
in
know, but they
Seattle.
don't.
Because in Seattle, their radio communication is live. So if you're sitting on the bus, you can hear the radio
Yeah,
chatter all
I
the
like
time.
that.
Yeah,
I like
right. It's
that.
alive. That's the way it should
I
be,
think,
really.
and
Yeah.
Or you
actually,
can
I think
speak
there is
on
a great
your own
benefit in
radio.
Portland is that it lets the bus driver focus on driving the bus unless it's absolutely necessary.
Right,
Yeah.
but like when something has to come up where somebody has to mitigate an incident, like for instance the time I was riding my bike around downtown when all the Maxes were stopped and all the streetcars, and everything was clumped up downtown. Okay, all because of 2 trucks. One truck got knocked over by Max because his dumb ass pulled out in front of it,
That's like a
and
rider.
the other doofus was parked over where the men's bathhouse was, and I don't really know that it was that, but that's what everybody called it, over by Burnside and the Pearl District. All the streetcars were lined up right there, down 11.
Yeah, I wish I could have seen that, boy. Nobody got a picture of that.
It was
Nobody
hilarious.
ever.
I wish I had. I didn't have a camera or nothing at the time. I just had my bike in my brain, so I was like, ooh, look at all this. This is hilarious.
You didn't have your body?
Yeah. But like that day, I mean, all this mess was happening, right? And I know, sure, they have to follow a lot of laws, which makes it even more difficult to mitigate issues like that.
Right.
But
Yeah, let's go ahead and get do the combo platter. Thanks.
Hey, Eric. Eric Halstead makes it to transit beer.
Well, I try to get the beer on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't drink it, but you did get some anyway.
Yeah, I'm not going to drink it. I can't drink it, so I'm just going to get it all over me.
You can't drink it.
But the 12,
I wanted to drink, but I couldn't. I got late, so I had to drive.
the 12 is detoured.
no,
Line 12 eastbound only due to a traffic accident. This route is detoured as follows. Regular route to Sandy and 102nd, right 102nd, left Prescott, left 21st place.
Oh, that's somewhere out by Parker or something. I don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care about
yeah.
that.
No, I was gonna say, but like that right there. I mean, how long probably did it take them to actually get that
Oh,
message out?
a long time.
To mitigate
A long
the thing.
time.
I mean,
Well,
you're talking about
You're talking a
45
long
minutes
time.
to an hour each.
Yeah, I bet you. I bet you it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Well,
And that stuff should be like.
Yeah, it should be
Yeah.
automatic.
Well, 2 things. First of all, I think once they know about it, they can send it to every bus, and it's stored in every bus for that line, or so let's say if someone takes over whatever, they can still, or they aren't in the bus at the time the dispatch says, they can recall the message and get it. But also, I was able to listen to the police scanner on Oregon Live, and there's been at least a couple of situations where I've been able to hear on the police scanner what's going on before the message. And it's pretty quick. It's been pretty quick. So it's like only every 5 minutes updates, but before the message gets in about the detour,
I don't know. I mean, overall, I've been very unhappy with some of the municipal facilities and their response time to figuring stuff out. I mean, some of it is really, it's not complicated to fix the problem.
Yeah, but
They
well,
just
it's
get into
government
this-
though. It's
Right,
government.
right, and they get into this freeze system, and it just clumps up.
Yeah.
Going into Chicago, I saw the same thing. They had half the rail system shut down because some retard couldn't figure out where to make the freaking train go.
Yeah.
One Amtrak train clogged up like 40 freight trains, another Amtrak train, and something else, because that train was stuck there, and we're on the municipal railway part, and they can't figure out how to dispatch it off the system.
Yeah.
And I come to find out later, as I'm sitting on the train, 8 hours late at this point, another guy he's got a scanner, and he's like, we're listening to it, and dispatch says, well, why don't you backtrack 6 miles, pull off the switch, get on the NS main line, and pull in on that track. I said, well, we can't get down there because there's a freight train in the way. And they're literally sitting there talking about, why don't you move the freight train? well, we'd have to back it up and then move it onto the secondary switch. And so I don't know if it's that long. It's covered with snow. And we're sitting there, and we look over at the switch, and the whole line, you can see the tracks clear as day.
Yeah.
Snow has not covered the tracks. I mean, there's snow on the ground, but it's not covered the tracks. And we're going, are you serious? You guys? And here's the bad thing.
Yeah, they're competent.
The municipal railway wasn't even, the dispatch wasn't even out of town. They were like on the
there.
ground in the city. They can see how much snow is in the area, and they still wouldn't move the trains the way they needed to get us moving. And meanwhile, we got 200 people stuck on this train trying to get into Chicago 8 hours late.
Ooh.
Yeah.
8
I was like,
hours.
how do you screw that up? That's amazing. But then, of course, nothing beats Alex Dumont, the previous CEO of Amtrak, when they had the bad snowstorms in the
what happened there?
area. Well, guys, one of the train people sent trains out in like the worst blizzard in 30 years or whatever, and he sacked a whole bunch of people because they sent the trains out. The trains got stuck in this. I mean, what's it take to stick a train somewhere?
Now, a lot of snow.
That's a lot of snow.
Well,
that makes what happened to Portland look like nothing.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
look at what was it? A couple years ago, we had the snowstorm, and I'm riding the 12 all the way out from Tualatin.
5 years ago, 6 years ago?
Yeah. 4 buses, 3 hours for me to get to work. So I'm on bus number 2, stuck up by Tiger Freddy's.
Yeah.
And somewhere in Trima's infinite wisdom, they decided to route the 96 off of I-5, which is probably the most steady grade. It's nice and smooth. There's no steep hills on it. And they stick on 72nd Avenue, which has all these nice big ups and downs. So I'm looking down 72nd Avenue, and in the span of 3 blocks, there's 3 96s stuck. Meanwhile, there's 312 stuck on Barber and a 94 stuck on Barber.
And again, like I was saying about the mitigation.
Here comes
Yeah,
the
they
climate
don't
change
get that.
truck.
That's a big failure. They don't.
You've got Tigard PD, which is brain dead as they are, so they're there, and they're trying to keep traffic moving very unsuccessfully because they think if they wave traffic up a hill, it'll
Go up the hill.
Go up the hill. The whole city of Tigard's got one snowplow.
Nice.
ODOT is tied up. It's a state highway. TriMet shows up with their chain truck. It shows up. It's like, holy shit, we've got 9, 10 buses here. We need to get up the hill. So they take off. Another bus shows up. I walk a couple blocks down, and the bus driver opens up and yells at me, I better not get stuck. So I get on that bus. Tiger PD then tells the bus not to stop and pick anyone else up. So everyone else is still stuck. I finally get up the hill. And my bus eventually loses its chains.
Oh, nice.
So I end up getting on a 43, which is detoured on Barber, who picked up all the other guys in Tigard. Why would you send buses on a hilly road without chains over the freeway, which is going to be plowed first?
Yeah.
I don't know though. That's where the communication really breaks down. Is in situations like the snowstorms and stuff. There is no communication.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's blank.
That's yeah. It blew me away. I was kind of impressed, considering that Portland is so incapable and not prepared simply to deal with snow. I was kind of impressed with how well they did do. But
Really,
at the
this
same
last time?
Yeah, but what it really came down to was literally the bus drivers and the workers out there just busting ass, trying to do what they're out there to do. I mean, as far as like...
By the way, the maintenance guy did get fired. The head of the maintenance got fired.
Yeah,
and I understand it was over that.
I thought
It was over the snow. Well, he retired.
Fired. He
right.
got retired early.
You can retire or you can get fired. It's
Yeah.
kind of like,
but he had a lot of years in, I think.
I guess so.
But
I don't-
either which way, I mean, like I saw the guys out torching the
Yeah.
switches, trying to get them to unfreeze in Hillsborough as they get the damn trains out of there. And I mean, like, you know, you see stuff like that, and you're like, okay, the crews are out here trying to get this stuff done. But the thing is they weren't directed. Like somewhere the leadership was falling apart. And
Yeah, well, there was no
and
leadership.
didn't- right, and
There was
didn't
they were nowhere to be
get the
found.
job done, right?
See, I look at a company I work at. I remember there was the big windstorm about 2 years ago, Astoria. All Clatsop County was out without power for 4 days.
We had I think that's the weekend we had the...
What happened there?
The Portland
Transmission line got blown down multiple places.
So what?
So I'm sitting here and, at work, I've got a duffel bag. I'm prepared to spend the night because we know people are calling. Well, fortunately, phone lines were down, so no one was calling us until the power out was out, but we knew.
Yeah.
But we have our CEO actually on the ground in Astoria. We have crews coming all the way from Iowa.
CEO was on the ground.
CEO was on the ground.
I saw Fred